welcome to the Nerdy Basement. Nice to meet you. As you hear, I'm Osvaldo or Ozzy. I'm the editor-in-chief at the Nerdy Basement. How are you doing today?
Good, good. I like that it's the basement. I wish I was actually in a basement so it could be more
Right,
awesome.
right. We get that compliment on us. So I'm honored to have you as a founding, not a founding member, essentially as a member of honor in the Nerdy Basement for a fantastic fest. So we're here. Let's talk about it. How does it feel? Your film is your documentary, feature documentary at that is premiering this week at Fantastic Fest. How does that feel?
Wonderful. It feels like, hard work is actually paying off, which is so great. And I have yet to play at Fantastic Fest with anything that I've done. So I've heard nothing but wonderful things about it. I didn't realize it was as big as a deal as it is. So it's like such an honor, and I'm so excited to actually experience it. And luckily, after COVID has kind of died, I know it's still existing
Right.
but has died down, and we get some vaccines so we can actually experience it in person together. It's so lovely.
It's great. I watched the documentary. I was surprised it was really long, but it didn't feel super long. Going through the entire franchise from start to finish, I was like, she really unlocked some core memories that I kind of tucked away as I got older. And I'm just going on this nostalgia trip as I'm going through each of the films throughout it. So I appreciate that you were able to kind of take me back and to kind of experience that a little bit. But I have to ask the $1 million question. The title of your documentary is called Living with Chucky. How was it living with Chucky? You have such a deep connection. How was that?
Traumatizing.
I bet. I bet.
Yeah. Very interesting. It's so weird. That's like my normal is as a daughter who has a dad that's a special effects makeup artist. It's like the fantasy is my reality. So I always just thought it was this normal thing. Chucky would always be at my birthday parties growing up. I'm an October baby, so he was always at the house.
That's perfect.
I know, so fitting. And my dad's fake decapitated head from Seed of Chucky would be, at a dining room table, and Tiffany would be on one end and Chucky would be on the other, and his head would be like on a platter with lettuce in the middle.
Okay, so we were bringing that to Thanksgiving and all the family gatherings, I'm assuming, right? Just to kind of show it off.
Just be like, hey, yeah, no. So it was definitely an interesting childhood that luckily through deciding to go into filmmaking has given me the opportunity to look back and actually, same as you're saying, unlock some memories of my own and kind of explore them with not only my own family but this extended family that's now been created.
That's awesome. So yeah, like I was mentioning a little while ago, you chronologize this film from start to up, its inception, back from when the writer was up in college, drafting up stories, so adapting into a film, all the way up to now the live action, the new Chucky series. Why Chucky specifically? Was there any other characters that really captivated you the way Chucky did, or was just Chucky, since he was the one you're so attached to, is the one you decided to go with?
It's been the longest ongoing franchise that my dad's worked on. So
Okay.
it came into my life when I was 4, and it's still going on. So it's kind of, I could easily make a documentary on my dad's career as an SFX artist,
Right.
and what that was like. And that was originally what I was originally going to do with the short version of this documentary, was explore just the childhood that I had with my dad's job. But Chucky seemed to be a bigger focus. Because it's been the most consistent. He did Zombieland, which is still,
Great film, by the way. Great film,
yes,
by the way.
and the first one when I was 13, and then the most recent one I was in college that they did, but it wasn't like those people kept in touch as much because it was a 10-year gap, whereas Chucky's consistently come back, and these names of these people have consistently been in my childhood throughout me growing up. And and those films were the ones that took my dad away for the longest periods of time to shoot those movies in different countries. So that was kind of like the biggest focus, because it's taken up the most time in our family.
Right. And you kind of mentioned that a lot throughout the documentary, especially your dad. He has very open and honest moment with you as you guys are, talking about that. So elaborate a little further about that. You kind of do build a family. There's a lot of underlying tones of, unity and family and bringing everybody together. huge family gathering. So elaborate about that a little more if you can.
Yeah, it was wonderful to, I have this perspective that I did when I was, 4 or 5 and growing up with these movies and kind of, resenting it taking my dad away from home. Not in the movies, just, him. Oh, Chucky meant he was going to be gone for several months at a time. And now it's allowed us to have conversations of what that was like from his perspective at the time, being a dad and being away from my mom and my other siblings. And so it was kind of like this nice, expensive form of therapy, getting to have these conversations that with my dad that maybe I wouldn't have initiated otherwise.
Right.
And my dad's always been open and honest throughout my entire life, but this provided the platform to have those conversations, and not only with ourselves, but other people who had very similar, relationships, like Brad and Fiona. He is an actor that would be gone for long periods of time, and same with, Billy Boyd now considers his family while taking roles and things. And so it was interesting to explore that with other people and realize, wow, this is really a family that forged because they were taken away from their real families, and it's a franchise that's continued to live on. So it's just like a reunion that gets to happen every few years, and now with a TV series it's happening all
Right.
the time, which is great that they get to
Yeah.
come back together too. It's so cool.
That's awesome. Glad you guys were able to explore that side, and that, and reconnect that sort of way, kind of bring some things to light and kind of be open and honest about it, and kind of, as you said, heal some of the things that maybe you didn't understand as a child growing up, especially with your dad. Like I said, I understand him from now as a dad, from his perspective, having to go away for so long. I know
Yeah.
how much you miss out on things, but there's also a lot of inclusion, a huge focus on inclusion, especially in the LGBTQ plus community in the horror, not just in media in general, but specifically the horror genre.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about the importance of that inclusion in media?
Well, it's huge, a huge importance.
A
Yeah.
lot.
The irony actually too is I came out as LGBTQIA while
Oh
making this
yeah,
documentary, which was
wonderful.
so cool and ironic to make a documentary on a really gay horror franchise and then be like, oh, I am also under the gay umbrella. Love that.
Yeah, makes you
But
right at home.
yeah, and I think, I know that there's LGBTQ moments in Nightmare on Elm Street. I think it's the
Hmm.
second one, I believe, and things like that. But Chucky has been consistently gay from Bride. It's had elements thrown
Hmm.
in, and I think, horror is the genre where we see underrepresented people a lot more. I think, of outsiders. Um, and that's like where the focus is people who aren't really fitting in. And of course there's always been metaphors for LGBTQ through like werewolf transformations or vampires,
Right.
always through the start. So it's a genre that allows you to explore metaphors for the LGBTQ community, and is super important to keep going on, because there's so many more people as we progress in time and more people feel comfortable exploring their sexual identity or their gender identity. It's important that, the horror community continues to progress along with it, and I think that the Chucky franchise has definitely done that. And now in season 2 we get Glenn Glenda coming back, which is so
Which is
awesome.
great. Which is great. I
Yeah,
think
I
fans
love
will love that.
I love the license plate shot as they roll in the trailer, and it's they them. So
Right,
fun.
right. It's great. I'm glad you're having fun with this, and the inclusion is obviously super, super important, not just in horror but media all around. I have
Yes.
a couple fun questions. Terrifying, traumatizing moments with Chucky. Let's talk
Okay.
about that. What some of your most terrifying, maybe traumatizing, nightmare-inducing moments with Chucky?
Oh goodness. Um. I don't remember some of them because I was too young, but I do remember that when my dad was coming onto the franchise, he had to watch Bride of Chucky a lot as reference, and so it's funny. My parents were watching a movie and they wouldn't let me see it or tell me what it was, and I spitefully, as I was probably like 5 or 6, came downstairs and peeked my head around the
Right.
corner. And I didn't know what it was at the time. And I thought it was just like this demon baby in a cemetery. And I was freaked out. I had nightmares about that for several months afterwards. I never knew the movie until actually making this documentary. It was the end scene in Bride.
Wow. Wow.
Glenn being born, which traumatized me. So that's funny. I didn't even know that that was a thing. And then obviously the first time that I watched my dad get decapitated in Seed of Chucky, I was 8 at the time and at a birthday party, and I had to go home because I thought my dad had actually died. So I would say that's the most traumatizing.
I listen, it's completely understandable. I have nightmare-inducing experiences from other, from Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff like that around the same age, and I still to this day I can recall those vivid nightmares. So you're not alone on that. But fun little question, the last one before we go. I'm kind of forcing you to kind of pick between your favorite little brother and other horror icons, and an all-out free-for-all battle between all horror icons. Who's coming out on top?
Have you put all of them in a room together? Oh God, I don't know.
Are we praying for Chucky to come out on top? And he has the wits.
He has the wits, he can be in small places and come out of nowhere. Right. Also now there's multiple of him. So he could just come out in droves and fuck shit up. But I don't know if I see him coming out on top. I don't know who I actually would. I don't know if you include like xenomorph aliens in this like icon.
I think everyone will be at a little disadvantage if we're including alien, the xenomorph, the predator. You know what I'm saying? We'll keep it within semi-humans. Jason, Michael Myers, Freddy.
I don't see them coming on top though. Maybe Freddy. I don't see Jason or Michael though. Maybe that's because I'm just like personally not scared by big men in masks because it's just reality. It's like men. But like maybe God, I don't know who would come out on top. I really like Texas Chainsaw.
Leatherface will be a great contender. I would like to see a free fall with that.
Right. So maybe him. The clown from It doesn't scare me that much.
No, he's a little comical, but he's there.
He's there. What's another icon?
There's so many. We have Jason. We have variants of Jason. There's that. I have maybe Pinhead. We got Pinhead.
Oh, you know what? I actually have yet to see that movie. So maybe that will be my new contender after I watch it.
That should be a new contender, especially with the new movie coming out on Hulu. So
I want to watch it.
That'd be great. That'd be great to dive into that universe. Super, super scary. So I would highly, highly recommend it. But Kyra, that's all I have for you today. I appreciate you for taking time out of your day to talk about Living with Chucky. And I wish you nothing but the best at the premiere this week at Fantastic Fest. I'm looking forward to seeing all the feedback. And I appreciate you for your time. You have a wonderful day at the festival.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you. Pleasure's all mine. Have a good day.